Hey guys, welcome to another Draw 7 TV video. Today, we're deck profiling one of my new favorite decks, Tapu Koko GX. By the way, if you are new to our channel or a returning subscriber, we thank you so much for checking us out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, if you like our content, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment as well on our videos. Let us know what you think and what you don't like and things like that. And we are working on several other videos we've got requested for in the process of testing for Madison regionals and then internationals in June. So, or at the end of June rather. So we are really tied up with all of that right now, but we will get to making some of those requested videos coming up as soon as we can. On today's episode, Tapu Koko GX with the amazing ability Arrow Trail, and yeah, let's get started. So as you can see, Tapu Koko GX has two attacks, the Sky High Claws for 130 for 3 energies, the Tapu Thunder GX for 3 energies as well. It does 50 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon, can be very clutch, and it's very reminiscent of Incineroar GX, where he can pretty much take a one-hit knockout with his GX attack. I really like that. So, it just kind of reminds me of that attack in a you know, certain way, but really enjoy the Tapu Thunder GX. All right, let's check out what else we have in the deck. Let's just run down the Pokemon. So of course we have one Shaman in the deck, not two. I decided just to play with one, and it really works out just fine for me. We're playing a Tauros GX in here, so I've been playtesting with some other lightning Pokemon. I had Pikachu EX in here. I was running Raikou, things like that, and found that I just didn't really care for them as much as Tauros. Tauros can be a good late game Pokemon, or in case your Tapu Kokos get knocked out or something like that. Tauros brings an opportunity at getting a win later in the game, so that's one reason I'm playing Tauros GX in this deck. And by now I'm sure you know what Tauros GX does. Carbink with Energy Keeper. I think this is one of the most underrated cards right now in the game, especially with Sylveon and different decks like that. Crushing Hammers are starting to become more popular as well. So, yeah, throwing a Carbink in here, and it seems like a lot of my opponents when I play online forget about this ability, Energy Keeper. A very strong ability, unless, of course, I get Hexed or Garboded or something like that. But otherwise, very strong, and I found that it has helped me out so many times. Jolteon EX, I have 2 of those in the deck. Of course, what would a Lightning deck be without Jolteon EX? Flash Ray 70, and it prevents all damage by the attacks of basic Pokemon from your opponent, and Swift can go through the effects of your opponent's active Pokemon. So if I'm taking on something like a Regice or something like that, Swift can go through there, and so this is just a great tech card. Of course, we got the 4 Tapu Kokos, and then the Tapu Lele. I'm finding that I don't necessarily always use the Tapu Lele, but again, a good tech card. The no weakness is nice, and the 1 retreat cost is okay as well. Obviously, we don't use the Tapu Cure GX just because we don't play Psychic Energy in this deck. But either way, I figure 1 Tapu Lele in here is worth the price of admission just for the Wonder Tag ability. All right, looking at the deck elsewhere, interesting card that I've thrown in that I've not seen played in quite some time is Echo Arm, and it's shuffling 3 Pokemon tool cards from your discard pile into your deck. So basically, this is a Field Blower counter in some ways. It seems like a lot of the times I'll throw Fighting Fury Belts or EXP shares or something like that on, and they'll just get blown off by the Field Blower. So Eco Arm really comes in handy into play unless your opponent, of course, plays more than 1 Field Blower, which at this point, not many decks do that. Maybe a Sylveon could possibly do that. Some players are taking in more than 1 Field Blower, but right now it seems like Eco Arm is definitely a good play at this point. All right, taking a look at the rest of the deck, we're running 11 Lightning Energy. Was running 12 when I first started. Figured though that 11 is actually just fine, especially trying to make room for 2 EXP shares. This is actually one of the most clutch cards in the deck. Very important to the entire the way the entire deck works. So EXP share definitely a must in here. I also threw two Fighting Fury Belts in here as well. I find if I put the Fighting Fury Belts on first, they feel blow those off, and then I can put the EXP shares later if need be. Really just depends on what deck I'm playing against. Other than that, pretty standard deck list. I am running 3 Aether Paradise Conservation Areas. I was running Rough Seas, but I figure that the 30 less damage from opponents' attacks is actually much stronger than Rough Seas, because especially since Tapu Koko's HP is only at 170, so it essentially makes it 190 if this is out in the field. 3 max potions, very strong, and hopefully we'll get to use those at the upcoming couple of matchups. Another key card in this, 4 max elixirs. We hope to hit all of these every game. Of course, that's might be asking too much, but max elixirs are very important in this as well. And I found that Rescue Stretcher is actually a very important card in this deck and many other decks that I've thrown together. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for the deck list. Let's go ahead and jump into a few rounds. And again, if you've watched my gameplay videos before, you know that I don't edit these, so if I lose, I lose. If I win, well, good deal. All right, here we go, folks. Losing the coin flip, it seems that I'm having really bad luck with that this last few days. All right, so we do get the Tauros in hand. That's actually not a bad start. I'm okay with starting that. Another thing about this deck is it doesn't necessarily matter which Pokemon you start with, because of that ability. Your ultimate goal is to get Tapu Koko out anyhow. All right, so we have an Audition play, which means we're more than likely obviously playing Vileplume here, which should be interesting since this deck does rely on a lot of item cards. He is playing Dark, a Krokorok. Okay. So some kind of Vileplume Dark variant, possibly. Get Sandile down in, Will in, which the in is okay. We had a decent hand there, though, so hopefully we get some kind of draw support here. And we don't, so that really stinks. It seems like online here I've been having this problem where I'm getting just tons and tons of energy. All right, Trainer's Mail. Good, we do get an in off that, so that's really nice. It would have been kind of cool to get this max elixir off, but that's okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and in. Let's see what else we can get out. So we do get the Tapu Lele, which isn't necessarily something I need to play right now. We do get a VS Secret. Let's see what else. We do have an in and a Sycamore in hand, so I'm not actually going to worry about that. I might go ahead and bench the Tapu Lele, and I'm not going to use the ability, and then we'll just pass. Again, as I mentioned at the start of the video, the Tapu Lele, I find that I don't necessarily use it all of the time, and that right there is a perfect example. If I could have it late game, obviously much better, but I find that I get it out much earlier than I typically want to. All right, so he grabs an in, but decides to Sycamore here. He did have a Vileplume in hand, so I'm assuming he will be playing Revitalizer. Gets that Gloom down, Force of Giant Plants. So here comes the fun. Vileplume could be coming out. This is an interesting deck here. Sandile, Vileplume. Not exactly sure what's happening here, but there's nothing wrong with that. All right, gets the Ultra Ball out, so Vileplume will be making an appearance, I'm sure, this turn. Grabs a Shaman. He's already down to 28 cards in deck. Down to 23 cards in deck now. Gets that Tauros down. Floatstone on Shaman. And doesn't play the Vileplume. So that actually could be quite a big deal here. We're just going to Sycamore. And hopefully we can get another Pokemon set up. Okay, good. So we do get the Carbink, which will be nice. I'm going to go ahead and throw the EXP share down here. The Fighting Fury Belt on Tauros. Get that energy out, and we'll go ahead and throw that on Tapu Lele. Now, what I'm assuming here is I may actually not bring Tapu Koko out yet. He's more than likely going to in next turn, if I had to guess. Let's check his discard pile here. 1 VS Secret, 1 in, so it may actually be smart to bring Tapu Koko in. But you know what? We're actually just going to go ahead and Horn Attack and get this knockout on this Oddish. and let him dictate the next turn here and see what happens. So do get a field blower, so that's going to be nice. Brings up the Shaman. I'm really curious to see what he's doing here. So he does in, which that could hurt if we don't get a draw support or at least another Tapu Koko in hand. All right, so we do actually get a Jolteon and a Tapu Koko. So I will take that. I'm more than happy with that. Brings out the Tauros. Okay, so we're going to actually bring Jolteon out. I don't know if I want to waste that on Jolteon or not. Let's go ahead and Trainer's Mail real quick. We do have a Delinquent. That may come into play later, so I don't necessarily want to play that either. Let's go ahead and Shaman for 2. Which will become Lysander target, I'm sure, at some point. Aether Conservation, so we are able to get rid of that, so that's nice. He hasn't used his GX attack yet, so I could Lysander this Gloom up. I think that actually may be the play here. He is getting these set up as well. Alright, you know what? We're just going to Lysander the Gloom up here. And we're going to go ahead and bring Tapu Koko out. This may be a little bit premature, but we'll see. And we'll throw that Fury Belt on him as well. And we'll go ahead and Skyhigh Claws. That way we're not limited there with items, since this deck is so item heavy. You know, this deck does actually match up pretty well against Sylveon and also Garb. Those are two matchups that I know a lot of folks are worried about right now in the metagame, but I found that it actually matches up pretty well as long as I can get fairly set up in the second turn or so. But yeah, it's just kind of a a back and forth thing for sure. All right, so this hit me for 90, but thankfully I will take the knockout here with the Tapu Thunder GX attack. So that's going to be nice. I'm actually going to touch out the Jolteon. Let's go ahead and Trainer's Mail here. We do get another Ultra Ball that actually may come in handy down the line here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab that. I'm going to heal Tapu Koko. 30. And we will do Tapu Koko GX to knock out the Tauros for 410. Good lord. All right. So we get the Jolteon and the Sycamore. All right, we're in a pretty good spot here. Okay, finally gets the Krokorok out. So just got a random card from your opponent's hand. Darkness Fang 60. So actually, we can take the win this next game. This is a supporter card here. Yeah, so we actually take the win the next game here by via Seekering this Lysander up and knocking out this Shaman. So that will definitely be the plan here. I want to make sure that, okay, yeah, that's what we'll do. Easy enough. Go ahead and grab the Shaman here, and he notices it and decides to concede, which, you know, I wish that wouldn't happen. I would rather just finish out the game. But we do take the win there, so that feels pretty good. Definitely a weird deck to be playing against, so, you know, can't really grade how the deck did against a meta deck. I will say, at the time of recording yesterday on stream, the deck did very well, so I was pretty happy with it. Calling the coin flip. I always pick tails. Yes, finally got the win there. And let's go ahead and get this sucker rolling. So what we hope for in this deck is to get a pretty strong start. I preferably would like to get at least 2 energies out on the first turn with the max elixir and, of course, just for turn. That's really the goal. So let's hope we can do that. Mulligan twice. Alright. Wow, Mulligan 3 times. That rarely happens with this deck. And now we get 100 Pokemon. Okay, and no draw support, so that's not good. Alright, Jolteon's going to go out. So let's hope we pull an in off the top deck here. That would be great if so. Help me out, and it would also disrupt him a bit. All right, so we don't, but we do get that. I'm actually going to go ahead and bring Tauros out, put the Fairy Belt on Tauros. No reason to do anything else here, and I will pass. So we could be in trouble here if we don't get a some type of draw support on this next turn. So it looks like he's playing Lurantis Evolutions, is what it appears to be. Which, thankfully, another great thing about Tapu Koko is he has no weakness. So that's not going to affect us. So that's another reason I like Tapu Koko so much. Wonder Tag. Hopefully you'll grab an in here. That would be wonderful. And he grabs an in. Oh, whew. All right, so I'm assuming he's going to play that. All right, good deal. So that'll be nice. Did anybody else get the full art in off the ladder? I didn't get there. I was super close. I was within a few brackets. All right, still no draw support for us, so another bad hand. We do get that Tapu Koko out, though. He does grab another in off that Trainer's Mail, so he may be setting up for another in next turn, which is completely fine with me. All right, so let's see here. I'm actually going to set this on Tauros because next turn I'm going to get that Tapu Koko rolling. Of course, at the same rate, I wouldn't mind an in here either. So I was asked why I'm not playing any double colorless in this deck, and simply because there's no room for it, and also I find that I really don't need it. I'm already spreading energy pretty good anyway, and DCEs really don't help Tapu Koko at all. And it's really all about him, and quite honestly, I mean, we use old Jolteon in certain situations, but yeah. All right, so this could be a great turn for us. We have a Max Elixir in hand. We do have another energy. We have a Tapu Koko as well, so we're going to be able to get that Tapu Koko set up, and if only we had a Lysander to bring up this Fomantis, that would be great. So Ultra Balls, I'm assuming for a Lurantis here, it is indeed. And I'm sure he'll bring him up on this turn. Rolling. I would also assume that he may just go ahead and throw it on him for that Chlorocythe GX. Okay, so he does just Flower Supply here, which is a good move. I'll be interested to see where he puts. Okay, so he's actually going to put it on the Tapu Lele back there. Okay. So he could actually possibly take a knockout here on the Tapu Koko this turn. So I may not actually do that yet. I'm actually going to retreat Jolteon, and I could Delinquent here. That would be... He does have a Rangaroo, though. Yeah, I want to end here, I think. Okay. Okay, let's see. Sorry, guys. Trying to decide what to do here. Alright, I'm going to get rid of these two and grab... I don't want another Jolteon out there. Tapu Lele may come in handy at some point. Okay. It's a risky play, but I'm going to do it anyway. Put that down there. So as you can see, we have a pretty good board state, all things considered. This isn't good. We don't have any draw support, and he's going to know that. So I'll just take this Aether Paradise here, and I will Horn Attack. So we may have spread ourselves too thin there. Yeah, he's on a Kukui. 240. That's actually going to be enough for the knockout here on Tauros. Or 220, rather. Yeah, it's actually going to be just enough for the knockout. So we may have spread ourselves too thin here. I maybe should have brought out the Chlorocythe GX. Or not the Chlorocythe, the Tapu Koko. Well, I guess Tapu Lele is the play here. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 120. 190. Okay, so this game is not... I spread myself too thin, I believe. Of course, that's one thing about Pokemon is it's all about chances. Really is. What do you do? It's that's the thing. You just don't know. So does he have? He doesn't have any energy. So Flower Supply here wouldn't be worth doing. He's more than likely going to Solar Blade just to get that damage on Tapu Lele. We really need draw support on this next turn. So he brings Tapu Lele up himself. Okay. Alright, give us something we can use here. Well, we can't use that. Well, I guess we will retreat into Jolteon and just do Flash Ray, even though that's really not going to help us because he's actually just going to bring up Lurantis and knock Jolteon out. So yeah, guys, I think we spread ourselves too thin at that point, and there's really no going back from that, which is fine. It's a game of decisions, that's for sure. Escape rope, okay. So he's just going to take the knockout here on Tapu Lele. That's what he's going to do. That actually may buy us some time. Because I'll be able to take a knockout here with Jolteon, and he can't attack with basics. Do get another energy, which that doesn't help. Alright, we'll just Flash Ray here. And hope we get some kind of draw support. Shaman, okay. Lily, alright. So, we're back in business to a certain extent. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 140. If he put one more energy on Tapu Lele, he could have got the knockout on Jolteon there. Now he's got all that energy in the discard. Yeah, so I'd expect to see another Lurantis here, which will be for 80. We may still have a chance. It's going to be slim, but we may still have a chance. So he's going to Flower Supply, I'm assuming. What he should have done there actually is put the energy on Tapu Lele, brought Tapu Lele up for the knockout. No, I guess he couldn't have because I Flash Rayed. That's true. Unless he Rangered. Okay. Oh, so he... Oh, well, it's 60. It's only 100. He can't... He already attached for turn. Choice Band is one of those cards that I considered playing in here. Yeah, 30 less damage with Aether Paradise there. Okay. Alright, so we are somewhat back in business. Not a lot, but we're somewhat back in business. Alright, we'll go ahead and Shaman here, and that actually might be a bad idea just because it's going to become a Lysander target. We do get the Tapu Koko, though, so that's awesome. So we'll actually go ahead and bring him in. Alright, and we do actually have the GX attack still available to us, so that's going to be awesome as well. Let's go ahead and get rid of these and grab another Tapu Koko. We really need... Okay. I was going to say we really needed a max potion there. What do we have? We have an EXP share, Fury Belt. Alright, let's go ahead and Eco Arm here. Get these two back in the deck. Okay. So 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 120, 40. He'd have to attach 3. Okay. So we're just going to take the knockout here on the Lurantis. Alright, let's see what he can do here. I'm assuming he'll be attacking with Tapu Lele. 20, 40, 60. Okay, so if he has a Lysander, he could just knock Jolteon out here for the win. He has 2 Lysanders. Oh, let's see. So he's got 2 Lysanders and 1 VS Seeker. Yeah, so he only has 2 cards in hand. 3 now. So if he has a VS Seeker, he can win this game. And that tells me... Oh, wow. Wow. He actually may still had a chance there. That's... Okay, I will... I'll take it. So let's just see. Yeah, so it's just a straight-up Laurentis Evolutions. And came back for the win there, guys. That's one thing I have noticed about Tapu Koko is he's not down till it's down kind of thing. You know, there's still opportunities at wins even when you think you're down and out. All right, guys, let's go ahead and play a third match. Normally only keep it to 2, but feeling feisty today. All right, win the coin flip. Let's get the ball rolling here. Hopefully we can get a better start than that last game. All right, Tauros GX. Mulligan. So we are taking, I'm assuming, trying to memorize. Okay, we could be seeing Lycanroc here. Scorched Earth. Okay, well, we will see. Third mulligan. So definitely playing a fighting deck. I would assume, I mean, it could possibly be Zygarde, but I'm assuming Lycanroc. Your opponent is selecting their starting Pokemon. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to take the mulligans. I think there was 3 of them. Yeah. Okay, so we're playing Primal Groudon. Interesting. All right, that's cool. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of an energy and the Rescue Stretcher. Even though technically I could have gotten rid of the Tapu Koko there and just Rescue Stretchered it back, but that's okay. We do hit that, so that's nice. We don't want to pull the trigger on Tapu Koko yet. I may actually just pass turn here. This is actually my first Primal Groudon deck that I've faced online, so that's pretty cool. Here the deck's really fun. Man, that's crazy. Look at his retreat cost. His retreat cost is just as much as that second attack. So I have a feeling that the Tapu Thunder GX is really going to come into play on this game. I'm actually going to attach that there. Gosh, this is tough because I don't want to get rid of the Tapu Koko. But I could go ahead and get... Yeah, I could go ahead and hit pretty hard on that Groudon there. And it doesn't look like he's getting set up very well. And we'll go ahead and Sycamore. Stink's getting rid of that Field Blower. But we need to try to get a knockout here. Alright, EXP share down there. And we will just Sky High Claws for 130. That puts pressure on him then. If he doesn't have a supporter card to play here, he's going to be in trouble, or another Pokemon. And obviously he does not. So that's a quick game right there. And yeah, I've heard that sometimes that deck can just whiff like that, which really, really stinks. All right, guys. Well, we at least had one decent game in the mix. We thank you for watching here on Draw 7 TV. Make sure to enjoy our other content and join us on a live stream sometime. Until next time, guys, have yourselves a great day. We'll see you later.